Hi lovelies, I have not one but two deep clean pantry organization videos for you today. I have two pantries in my home, so that is what's happening here, and I had some help. So stick around and see how it turns out. Hi there lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mel and I create content around my journey to get organized in my home, heart, body and soul. As I said in the intro, we are in the kitchen today and we're cleaning out the pantries. We're a family of 6 and I probably haven't done this for well over a year. Going through some of these things, I discovered that it may have been longer since I did this, but basically I pulled everything out of the pantry and cleaned it out, then went through all of the things that I had shoved in this particular small space and tried to figure out the best way to make it more functional. Now, the purpose of doing this is not only because it's going to feel so much better, but also I'm looking to get more consistent with my meal planning, and I literally had no idea what was in this pantry. I was buying multiples of things when I didn't need it. I was thinking I had something and I didn't, and it was just generally out of control. So the first step in meal planning was actually seeing what I had and making sure I wasn't purchasing unnecessary items while also using up what was in our pantry and not spending money that I didn't have to. So that's what's happening. I'm just giving it a good clean out first, and then we'll go through and see what it looks like at the end.
some now, give me some more.
Okay, now comes the part that I struggled with most, and that is putting everything back so that it was still functional and usable and accessible. Obviously, this is a rather deep pantry, so I really struggle with that. Also, this is actual branded Tupperware containers that I've collected over my entire adulthood. So they're about 20 years old and very functional, very useful. I'm not comfortable having glass products purely because of the tiles in our home. They just shatter, and with small children, I can't have shattered glass on the floor, obviously. So, I just stick to Tupperware. I find it very, very good for keeping things fresh, and it's all a uniform shape, although, it's probably not as pretty as some of those glass or other clear containers. I go for function over aesthetics, I guess, but, maybe someday I'll go for aesthetics, but right now, let's just keep it simple, use what we have, make it work. Having said that, I'm kind of over this Tupperware spice container. I feel like it takes up way too much space and it's not as practical as I thought it would be. I loved it, but I think I'm going to have to part with it and start to get a more practical kind of collection of spice containers. So as you can see, I have lots of spices not in containers. So I'm not going to be, too out of pocket, I guess, in terms of getting rid of the Tupperware ones and buying less kind of bulky. But anyway, watch this space. We'll see what comes up. And I spent so much time pulling things out and putting things back and rearranging. And eventually, as you can see here, I even decided to move the shelf up so that it gave me more space specifically to put the Weet-Bix underneath, because I found that putting Weet-Bix in a container just ended up a big waste of time since we go through one of those boxes a week. So, I just didn't have the time for that. So it's all about being practical, keeping it real. And at this point, Jonah has decided he's going to come in and help me. You can't see, but I think at this moment he's like trying to climb on my right-hand side, and I'm getting extremely frustrated with this shelf. But anyway, it works out in the end.
Waking up last night, walking down the line. It's never enough. I can't get it out of my
show the 10 minutes after you finish cleaning. Okay, so time for the final tour. I always like to show a space after it's been used for a few days just to see if it's still functional, because it's not about being Pinterest perfect, it's about being functional for a family and for my family. So I'll take you through the tour. Up here I do have kids snacks and things for school lunches. I obviously still need to do up there, but that's for another time. But anyway, kids school snacks and things like that, I like that up out of reach, out of sight. They do get into it when they think I'm not watching, but for the most part, you know, it's up out of there, out of sight. So I do have some things hidden in behind there, but yeah, that's that. Then we have oils and spices basically here, things like stock and beef bone stock, that sort of stuff. This basket I purchased from Kmart. It's just got a little bag in it at the minute. It was $4, and what I was thinking of doing is when I get into my meal planning, this could be utilized for just, you know, specific meals for the week could go in there. I could probably have 2 on the go at one time, but that's just an idea for now. I find if there's an empty space, it will get filled, you know, an empty shelf. So if I've got that there, it kind of prevents it from getting filled with clutter, although I do have this obviously, but still, that's that. I also still do need to get a better system for my spices too, but I'll work on that. Work in progress, people. Okay, so we do have just some bits and pieces, random bits in here. I don't buy a lot of meal kits or anything like that. I use a lot, you know, make a lot from scratch with my Thermi when I'm doing it right. So just bits and pieces there. More bits and pieces back here. I have like a spice mix and a hot chocolate mix, and then we got condiments like vinegars and soy sauce and stuff at the back there, and just random bits back there, but you can see what it is quite easily. Salt and pepper, herbamare, seasonings that generally go on the table in this little container here, so the kids can reach that and grab that, so it's purely functional. Again, I was thinking this would be quite useful for perhaps meal planning at some point, but keeping the space clear. I was putting like tortilla wraps and things like that, so like snack things that the kids can grab for themselves there. Now down here we have rices and pastas. I just got to find the lid for this, but I obviously need some spaghetti. But generally we've got all the rices here, all of the pastas in there. This will be lasagna sheets if I buy them. I have learnt recently to make them, so I tend to do that when I make lasagna, but you know, it's a mission. Then I've got obviously canned foods here, smaller canned foods up the top there. This is not enough, I have to say. I will be looking for another solution of that. I do have some clear containers for tins and things that I could possibly use at this point, but that's currently what I have. Although down here you can see I have some diced tomatoes, some tins, and some coconut milk kind of spare stuff at the back there. But that's all the spare tins I have. We do use, if we do use the tomatoes, we tend to use 2 to 3 tins at a time, so they don't last long really. Then we just got kids snacks down here. So obviously Weet-Bix, we go through a box of this a week. But in the back there I have our freezer, so like our, what we freeze soups or leftovers or whatever in the backpack. So that is probably could do with less, but I'm looking to get a larger freezer, so I'm looking to do some more meal planning and freezing sized meals, particularly for my lunch. So that is staying there. Then down the bottom here we just have like extra stuff, so pasta that didn't fit in the container, bigger sort of pastas, just some rice bubbles for cooking, that sort of stuff, and this is extra stuff as well. So salt and tea and sugar and tomato paste. This is sort of like our excess shelf, I guess, so they just go back there. So that's kind of our bulk storage for what it is now. So that is the pantry. I feel like it's functioning very well. It's very blissful. I'm very happy with it. I will just show you the little routines that I have happening. So I have my morning non-negotiables, which is here, and my evening non-negotiables, and I must say I'm doing very, very well. So I'm very happy with that. If you want to see more about that, let me know in the comments down below. I'll show you how they work. But let's see the other pantry. Okay, so I have self-raising flour here. I don't buy as much self-raising flour because I can make self-raising flour if I'm really stuck. I'll just use some baking powder, I believe. Anyway, got that apple twister thing there, and just some baking kind of condiments. So we got like gelatin powder and cream of tartar and condensed milk back there. Big glass bowls that don't fit in the other thing, and a Tupperware sifter. So that's that. And then kind of all of our baking stuff. This is just a spare bottle, but we got baking stuff back here. So we got corn flour and bicarb, coconut, almond meal, what else, like baking powder, that sort of stuff is in there. Obviously napkins, sample things that I got sent in the Nourish Life box that I used to get. So it's just random bits and pieces, really. Yeah, and they're just things that I intend to use eventually, but I haven't got around to it. I've checked the dates on them all. They're all good for now. But that's that back there. Then we have more baking stuff over here. So we've got some brown sugar and some caster sugar and stuff like that, which ordinarily I would also make, but I ended up finding out that the molasses that I normally keep on hand had gone out of date, so I just bought that for kind of backup stuff. Bread improver, obviously, and powdered milk for when I get around to baking bread, which is occasionally. And then just at the back there is some baking tins and the mix master that my husband likes to use, even though I use the Thermi. Down here spare containers, and then like silicone bake trays, things like that, again in one of those $4 baskets from Kmart. Cookie cutters and things like that basically back there. And then on this side we have like lunch containers, sandwich keepers, lids for bowls back there. I'm looking for the lid for this water bottle, so it's there. And then I've got a couple of glass water bottles at the back there for when I make my coffee syrup. And then things for like snack containers and stuff like that is in there. So then we've got the kids' cups and Jonah's cups in there. And then the kids' plates and not cups. That's the trouble, when the kids put stuff away, they put it wrong. But basically that contains it. I know it doesn't look Pinterest perfect neat, but it is what it is. I don't know what the kids have done in there in the meantime, but that's that. Then I have coffee cups in here, which again, just gotten a bit messed up. But I'm presuming one of the kids got into it. So that's just coffee cups in there. And then down the bottom is just spare containers, which will be useful at some point. And then we got baking trays and keepers there. So that is those two pantries. I feel like, although I didn't declutter a lot, I did organize a lot. I don't feel like I threw a whole lot out, to be honest. A whole lot of food that was out of date for sure. I just made it neater and more accessible, more functional. There's still lots of work to do up on top of these surfaces, obviously, but that is yet to come. So that is the two pantries all done. I feel so good. Like I said, it's been done for, this one since Sunday and that one for about a week now. Okay guys, that's it for Hoarder Thursday. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you did. Share with a mate if you think she could relate. And I look forward to chatting to you in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Cheers.